What's up, y'all? This is J Cruz, and to Talking with J Cruz is going to be my new series, diving into my songs and what are the meanings behind the lyrics. So my second song that I released was Mother Sons. Initially, I was going to do the title of Hold Me Coming, Hold You Going. I just couldn't write that song. It's just too emotional for me, and I'll probably be just crying the whole time. So basically, that was like, hey, since you held me coming into this world when I was born, and it did the connection chest to chest, I wanted to let her know that I was going to be there when she's leaving. And I know that's a little dark, but I also just was giving a bit of an insight. We're like, hey, I'll always be there for you because you're always there for me. So I changed it to Mother Sons, tribute to my mom and all the mothers that have sons. Because nowadays everybody's like girl dad and all that stuff. And I remember growing up, the one term was you're a mama's boy, and that wasn't a really good term to be called because, it meant you're kind of soft. But at the end of the day, you know what? I am a mama's boy, and I love my mom. So the older you get, you understand, like, it's actually a good thing. So we're going to go through my song, Mother Sons, verses first, bridge, and then go into the chorus. So verse 1 is, hey mom, when you were a kid, did you play with dolls? Imagine me running halls. You always knew you were for me. You're my mom. I'm always your son. A bond never undone. So basically, I'm just asking my mom, and it's a direct question to her, but it's more metaphorical too. Like, it could be anybody's mom, because I could be taking a place as somebody else's son, saying, "Hey, mom, when you were a kid, did you play with dolls?" And imagine yourself having a kid, and what would you do in certain situations? Would you make up situations? Did you imagine a kid running down a hall, and what would you be doing? Would you run down the hall with them, or would you be like, hey, just be careful? I don't know. So that's just basically a question for me, or from a son to their mom. And then at the last sentence, it would be, you're my mom. I'm always your son. The bond never undone. So basically, at the end of the day, I am just saying, hey, I'm your son forever. You're my mother forever. And we have a bond that's just kind of just unbreakable, right? So, yeah, that's verse 1. So let's get into verse 2. What was your favorite day where that feeling never fades away? Was it motherly purpose or an abuela's sugary circus? I'm your son. You helped become a man. A bond never undone. So what was your favorite day? So here's another. I'm going to more questions to my mom. And from a son's point of view, what was your favorite day? Was it when you had your kid? And my mom has 3 children, so I'm the oldest, and I have a brother and a sister. But when you have your first kid, it's always different because your life just absolutely changes. Not saying that a second, a third, or even a 10th kid doesn't change your life, because kids just change your life all the way altogether. The personalities are different, and there's some attention you got to do. But regardless, it's a feeling that never really fades away. So I wanted to ask, and it's not something that I probably don't already know the answer to, because I know my mom loves me, but what is it? Like, because it's different when it's your kid, or were you more happy to see your kid having a kid? Like, I don't know, and I've thought about that question not too long ago, and I don't know. I love my daughter to death, but I don't know that feeling yet of being a grandparent. Would I be more proud? Would I love her child more than I do her? I don't think I can love another child more than I do her. Unless I had another child, I'd love them the same, But what comes out? Does more pride come out? And was it more of a favorite day that you're not in pain giving birth, but you get to see your child having a child, and providing more of a lineage into that family tree. I don't know that answer. Maybe y'all could tell me in the comments below. Like, hey, are you more proud of being a parent or of being a grandparent? And it's hard to really get into what's better, but it is a hard thing to say because, you know, like I said before, your whole life just changes when you have a child. When you're coming from not having a kid at all, and once you already have a kid, like you kind of understand what you have to do and continue on and make sure that your child survives and you're there for them and you're caring all that stuff. But you have a different purpose when you become a grandparent, and the best thing I can always remember going to my grandmother's house is she always gave me candy, she gave me money, and she gave me soda and what we call it malta. Um, but I mean, it was just she always had it. I knew exactly what I had to go into. Some people, you go into your grandmother's house and they have the old sticky candies all together, or the strawberry wrapper candies that's probably been there for years, but you still go there and you love it and you eat it because it's a grandparent thing. Um, so I'm asking, what's your favorite part of your life when you became a parent, a mother, or when you became a grandmother? And so I used was a motherly purpose from Abuela Sugary Circus. I used Abuela because I want to like sprinkle in my culture into my writing style in the country, and just everybody kind of knows what an abuela is, but if you don't, it's really easy to look up on any search engine. So just putting a little bit of me, more of my culture into my writing styles. I'm your son. You helped become a man, a bond never undone. Both my mom and dad, they helped me become a great adult. I think I'm a great adult, but that's my own opinion, right? But they did help me become a man who I am today, and my mom was always there for me. So was my father. So I can't take that away from him. So, but this song is about my mom. So, yeah, she helped me become a man. Half of her is me. A bond never undone. I mean, she's my mom. So, I've seen things where people's sons have murdered. I haven't murdered anybody or anything like that, but I don't plan on it either. But their mom still loves them because they birthed that child and it was made out of love. So that's why I keep on going with the bond never undone. And it's just I think it's pretty cool to continue to go back to it and reference that bond, no matter how old you are and you progress through life. Um, whether you're a baby or, one day you're 70 and they're 90 or something like that. My mom's 20 years older than me, so um, that could be a real thing where I'm 70 and she's 90. And, I'm still going to call her mom, and it's still a bond that she gave birth to me quite a long time ago, 70 years before that. So let's go into the bridge. Time flows for moms, holding their boys, learned life, took journeys, opened closed doors. The book ends, you look at your son, he's crying, holding mom, like she did her son. So time flows for mom, holding their boys, learn life, took journeys, opened closed doors. So time, that's the one thing which I also referenced. I wrote a song called Time as well, and that's later on down in the series, but time just never stops, and it's always fleeting. And you think you have all the time in the world with everything and anybody. And what was it, the oldest human being, I'm guessing right now, so don't fact check me too much, but let's say 113 years old. And then you look at how many years we've been on this earth. 100 years is nothing. Or how old Earth is, and I'm getting really nerdy now, but time is just it snaps just like that. I remember when I was in kindergarten, and then I remember when I wished I was graduating high school, and that came so fast. But while during the actual like going to school part, it was so slow. Like every day was a Monday, but when you're 17, turning 18, and walking across the stage as a senior in high school, man, that 17 years ain't nothing. I mean, it just goes so fast. So Learn Life took journeys, open, closed doors. Learn Life, I mean, we didn't know what we were doing. I was just being a kid learning my life, and she didn't know what she was doing. There's no real book to be being a parent, and I know that too. But I mean, the only book that she would really have, or any reference that she would have, is from her parents. So we're just learning together on how to live in this world of craziness and awesome things happening and bad things happening, whatever. But we're learning it. We took journeys. I mean, took plenty of day trips, um, vacations, and just our journey through life. It just takes us all over the place. And open closed doors. She would try to do anything she could, or mom will do anything they can to open any doors in life. But also, it's a metaphorical thing and dual purpose line there where, my mom, she's gonna open the door to my bedroom, but she don't care. It's her house, right? So she's opening them closed doors, and then also in life, she's trying to open the doors that are closed. So that was a dual purpose line there. And then the book ends. You look at your son. He's crying. Hold mom like she did her son. So, like in the beginning, where I was initially writing the song, "Hold Me Coming, Hold You Going," I put it into one line in the bridge where. And that took me a very long time to actually sing that line without crying. Even when I'm singing it sometimes now, I get a little choked up, but I have to try to push through it. But only the people that really are listening to me out there really can kind of hear the difference in my vocal pitch there. So I just want to let her know that, I mean, that line is like the book ends, you look at your son, and, I'm saying that her book is ending, right? And then I'm saying, like, through her eyes, she's looking at me, and I'm crying, and I'm holding her like she did me, because I mean, you see all these movies, and I mean, I know, I remember my wife when she gave birth to our daughter, we were both emotional, but happy tears, and it was just absolutely an amazing thing that we went through. But, and it comes full circle, circle of life, he's crying, holding mom like she did her son, like it just goes full circle. And, I remember my mom always saying, twice a baby, once an adult. And after I wrote that line, I was like, man, it really comes true, twice a baby, once an adult, because when you get older, you can't really do as much, just like when you were a kid. I mean, you slow down. Some people can't walk anymore. Some people can't talk, and they just need an extreme amount of help when they're older. That was that's just like being a baby. So, but that was also me saying, hey, I'm going to be there regardless. So, and let's go to the chorus. It's got to be hard. Moms raising boys, breaking hearts, busting up toys, getting lumps and scratches, always fixing and patching. Mothers raising boys, and it progresses. From the first chorus is mothers raising boys, and the second one is mothers raising men, because we're going later on in life. And at the end, it's mothers raising men from boys. So that just also just takes it full circle throughout the whole song, where it's hard to think about all the times that you had good and bad, that it just your mom your mom has always been there. So let's go through these. It's got to be hard. Moms raising boys. I mean, man, I have a daughter, and she's careful, and people like to say that their daughters are princesses and stuff like that. She is careful, and she does have an attitude, but I remember going to my friend's house, and they have nothing but boys, and they're like top roping it, coming down, like, here I come, boom. And I'm like, oh man, I am not trying to go to the hospital today. And then I looked in the mirror, and it's like, wow, that's probably me doing that same thing to my mother, me and my brother. We're a wild child. We're always doing some type of sports, running, biking, getting hurt all the time. Second line, breaking hearts, busting up toys. I mean, sometimes you break your mom's heart and you don't mean to, but it happens. And also when you're growing up through life, it's a lot of times where guys are hurting those girls' hearts, breaking those girls' hearts. And then busting up toys. I mean, I remember sometimes I'd get a toy on Christmas, and as a boy, I'd be very rough with it, and I just didn't know. I just didn't want to break the toy within the first 5-10 minutes, but we do end up doing that because we're so rough and just rambunctious. At least my experience with how I grew up and all my friends that I grew up with. Getting lumps and scratches, always fixing and patching. Honestly, like, your father could do it 100% of the time. He can fix and patch after you get a lump and scratch and stuff like that. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, any kid's going to their mother because they have that caring and I'm going to take care of you and fix you trait. So you always go to mom to go and fix and patch you. You got a little Band-Aid or witch hazel, or what was it? Alcohol, man. When they had to clean the wounds, ooh, that hurt. But she was always there to help out, and there's been plenty of times where it wasn't even my mom that was helping me out. There was another mom that was helping me out after getting hurt because it's just something that within being a mother, like, you're always there to help out a child. At least for the good ones. There's some bad people out there, but we're talking about the good ones out there. So yeah, so that's everything behind that song, and it's crazy because I really wanted to initially sing that song of, like, just make sure that you knew that I'll always be there when you're going, because you were always there when I was coming into this world. It was just too emotional for me. I just couldn't do it. So I wanted to kind of broaden it out and make it to where more sons and mothers can bond over this song and connect with it and be a little bit more happier than, man, if you're when you die, I'm gonna be right there holding you like you held me when I came out into this world. Like, that's just too sad of a song for me to write. Maybe there's songs like that out there already, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna write that song just because I'm not ready to actually sing that song. So, but I put it in that one line, so I'm happy I did that, and it still chokes me up to this day. But that is the behind the lyric. All right, that is the behind the scenes. What do the lyrics mean after I wrote them for the song Mother Sons? If you have any questions, you could put them in the comments. Just go and subscribe, put on the notifications. It's on the button down there. Help me out, man. I'm just doing this. I'm winging it as well. Yeah, so watch out for Million Steps on episode 3. So we'll talk to y'all and have a great day.